If you want to get the best gaming performance, do you need DDR5 6000 MHz memory? Well, today we're going to be taking a look at some Corsair Vengeance 32GB 2x16GB sticks that have timings of CL36 and of course have RGB. But first of all, let's run those gaming benchmark numbers. We're going to be pulling up 4 different configurations here for you, where we've got 3 different games tested at 1080p low settings with an RTX 3080 water-cooled Seahawk edition. And here's where in Borderlands 3 on the ultra low settings with DX12, we saw that the 32GB kit of CL36 6000 MHz memory is giving 1 extra FPS in this title over 5200 MHz CL38. Then versus the default 4800 MHz CL40, you are gaining a little bit of FPS, and that is getting beaten by DDR4 3600 MHz CL18. Now moving over to Fortnite, here's where we decided to test DX11 because it technically still runs the best for this title, at least if you want a bit of bling and not have to go to performance mode. And here's where we saw the best configuration for DDR5 6000 yet. And here's where it was getting 353 average FPS versus 334 versus 311 versus 314 on DDR4. Now for Shadows of the Tomb Raider, lower settings, DX12, here's where we got 265 versus 252 versus 241, and then DDR4 coming in with the win over DDR5 default. So there it is with those 3 titles. And what we saw there, the comparison between DDR5 and DDR4 really shows that there's not a huge benefit to be gained if you are a gamer, even on a 12900K and even with an RTX 3080. And another even thrown in there is that it's 1080p lower settings, and that essentially stresses the DDR5 memory or DDR4 memory and the CPU more than it would stress, say, these 3 titles played at 4K ultra settings. Though if you are a competitive gamer, here's where the DDR5 6000 CL36 memory did do the best in today's results. But that being said, you can go out there and still get very fast DDR4 memory. I have seen kits that go up to 4400 MHz on DDR4 side of things, even though they are very expensive. In fact, some of those kits on DDR4 can run you up even more than the $300 price tag on the 6000 MHz CL36. So I guess in the end, it's all relative, but in terms of the best value, DDR4 does still hold that title. But it is good to see that DDR5 memory kits are getting faster quite quickly, and also the prices aren't going up exorbitantly, where a DDR5 kit of, say, the Vengeance 5200 MHz CL40 costs around $200 USD, then this kit here costs $300. So it is a $100 premium for the better stuff with the better timings. Though speaking of the timings, they don't come easy. This kit does use up 1.35 volts on that default XMP profile to get to these speeds. Most DDR5 kits, especially at 5200 MHz, will be using 1.25 volts. But looking closer at the Vengeance memory, it's actually the Vengeance RGB. So Corsair have decided to implement 10 different lighting zones on each of the DIMMs, which are controllable via the RGB ICUE software. And within this software, you get additional options to choose hardware or software modes, where in software mode, you will unlock 19 different profiles, and then on the hardware side, you can unlock 13 profiles, which if you then save it to the hardware profile, you can then uninstall the software and it will retain those RGB settings. There's also the option to link this with other Corsair RGB within the ICUE software. And probably my favorite feature is the temperature control, which we can monitor how hot the temperature is via seeing the lights. And in this case, it's running at about 50 degrees in a 29C environment with those XMP profiles enabled. The last thing to talk about with this memory is the memory itself, where it comes in with a height clearance of 4 centimeters tall, where with standard DDR5 with no heat sinks, you're looking at about 3 centimeters of height clearance. So it will add an extra centimeter on for those who are in tight fits with Mini-iTX. It also comes in with one stick weighing in at 48 grams, and that's 96 grams in total for both these sticks. And I am told on the 6000 MHz memory kits, these are hand sorted. They do pick the best memory modules for the overclocking that occurs to get to 6,000 megahertz, and they do back that up with a limited lifetime warranty, which is actually kind of impressive considering these sticks run all day every day at 1.35 volt, which is a big increase over the standard 1.1 volt. Though overall, in closing, my thoughts and opinions on DDR5 memory, it's quite expensive, especially compared to DDR4. In fact, I would only recommend this to someone who has the highest of high budgets and they're going with a 12900K and the latest and greatest graphics cards, even though I do recommend holding out there for the RTX 4090 if you're going down that route. But basically, in a nutshell, premium memory which will fit the job on a premium build. Other than that, you may wish to look at DDR4 or of course some more cheaper DDR5 memory options, even from Corsair themselves. Anyhow guys, I'll put some links in the description below if you're interested in something like this. And with that aside, we do have the question of the day here. And this comes from XRats, and they say, "Hi mate, great video." They're referring to our fixing memory modules video up here. And they say, "I have a dual kit and one of the modules is broken. Is there anything I can do to revive it?" Now, basically when it comes to memory, I think I've only had one memory kit come back to life, and that was with a heat gun. And even then, I think that memory module ended up lasting only a couple of days. So I actually haven't really had any success with broken memory in the past in terms of getting it to work again, but I have had success in terms of bringing DIMMs back to life on motherboards. And so in this case, if the memory module itself is broken, then you're pretty much SOL. But if the motherboard has a faulty DIMM that's not picking up the memory stick and that memory stick works, then I'd suggest lightly trying to bend some pins back or just cleaning the pins themselves, which we covered in that video. Hope that answers that question. And if you guys have stayed this far and you're enjoying that Tech Yes content, then be sure to hit that sub button, ring that bell to get the juicy vids as soon as they drop. And I'll catch you in the next tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.